Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here, Water Ice Radio, the Lauren Reed Live Show, and we are back.
We were gone for a little bit.
Summer break. Not really a break.
Not really. We had a podcast a couple weeks ago.
We did, and it's coming. It's coming.
It's that season.
It is. Summertime is really busy for us, just being full-fledged into events.
Yeah, shout out to you. Soul in the City was a hit.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We had Be Easy. We had Q Banks. We had Mark. We had Judea and Suzanne Christine. Yo, listen.
You're in love.
No. I recorded her singing, put on my timeline, on my story. Yo, everybody was like, yo, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? And I was like, yo, go follow her. She's dope.
She's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, not take away from anyone else on the
the
bill.
whole bill.
Everybody's great, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday had a family barbecue, and everybody that was there, shout out to my family for supporting the show. They were like, yo, everybody was dope.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't one person. My family is, they're hard, tough critics.
I mean, that's just Philly, right?
I
Philly
know,
would tell
right?
You, like, that was
they were telling me, like, boy, it was corny.
Yeah.
But no, everybody was
lit.
really, really good. Just thank you to all of them. And they're all like easy to work with.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have no divas or guys acting crazy. Like, everybody was really chill. The people came out and represented for them.
For sure.
It was a really good, feel-good time, and I just have to say this, that I can't wait to continue Soul in the City.
First of many.
Yeah, first of many. I want to give people the opportunity in the underground, music, and I give them a platform. So that's what it's really all about.
Yeah, shout out to WOW. They got voted best place to have a dance party in Philly.
They did. Shout out to WOW.
By Philly Mag. So shout out to Meg and all of them having at WOW.
And you know what? My brother was telling me, shout out to my older brother Malik. He was like, yo, Soul in the City gave me the feel of back in the day with like the Roots and Jill Scott, like when she needed a
Soul Aquarians. They were all just jam together,
and like they needed a place to come and people would come out and see them.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's cool to emulate that. I'm okay with that. So stay tuned.
Some light.
Soul in the City Volume 2 coming soon.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Soon.
It's gonna be really, really
for those
cool.
who do not know, I'm Jay the Gentleman.
And he is Jay the Gentleman. He is here. Yep. Yeah. But other than that, you been okay?
Yeah, just, summer busy. I got to give a really, really big shout out to my girl, Nexus. She just got a job with Facebook, and she's leaving for Seattle next week. Well, I guess whenever this drops, she leaves in the beginning of August. So shout out to her. I went out to New York, surprise party.
It's a great surprise.
So dope. Great surprise. She had no idea. It worked. So shout out to Kendra and all of them in New York. Had a really good time, and then came back yesterday. And,
back to the grind.
Pretty much.
I totally know everything about that.
Yeah.
So,
but we got
today,
a great show today.
Yes, today.
We're keeping that energy.
Keeping that
throughout the whole summer.
Energy. All summer 19.
Yeah.
All summer 19. Will we say all summer 20 next year?
All year.
All year.
20.
All 20.
All 20.
I like
that. Hashtag all 20. That's a new hashtag.
All right. So our guest today
will beat your ass. Dead ass.
I don't want no smoke.
No smoke.
Normally I'm like, it's whatever.
Nah.
I'm good.
Her guns got guns.
If I saw her somewhere and I would be like, you win.
You got that.
It's cool. It's
all
right.
Can you drink? I don't know. What's happening?
And she's beautiful, by the way.
Absolutely.
We have. You go ahead.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we got an awesome MMA fighter from Philly.
Yep.
We got Jaime, Colleen. How you doing?
Hi, what's up, guys? I'm good.
Chilling. Thank you so much for
coming through.
And it was like real easy too. I was like, hey, you're dope. You want to come on the show? She's like, yep.
Listen, it's never that easy.
It's always like 2 or 3 emails or DM.
Yes.
I think with the email, I sent an email. You were like, yeah, let's do it. I was like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You were like, she's on. I was like, those are my favorite kind of guests. The ones who just confirm.
I was like, you want the day? She's like, that works. The time. I was like, done. Yeah. Book it. Let's do it. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Jaime, where do we really start? I mean,
you're born in Philly? Born and raised in Philly?
Actually, no, VA.
Whoa, Virginia's for lovers.
West Virginia, actually.
West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. I was born and raised in West Virginia. Kind of lived all over. I moved to South Carolina, sometime in high school and graduated from there. Then moved to Ohio. Most of my family's in Ohio now.
Okay.
From Ohio, Cincinnati.
Oh, nice. I have family in Cincinnati. Cool.
So, small world.
Yeah, I know.
So I, from Cincinnati, came to Philly. But I've lived here for like 10, 11 years now. So I just say,
you're from Philly.
Now.
Yeah.
You're from Philly. That's fine.
I get it.
It's home.
So you did a lot of moving around. Where was one of your favorite places to be? And it's no pressure. You don't have to say Philly.
I was going to say Philly.
Really?
You know, when I was living in South Carolina, I think I would appreciate it more now because we lived in Myrtle Beach. So I think, like I said, I would appreciate it more now that I'm older. Like,
for sure. Myrtle
Beach.
Live
at the beach.
Yeah. It's actually really nice.
Yeah, it is nice. So I do miss that aspect of it. But yeah, I'm a Philly girl.
Okay.
So.
I hear that. So, you know, what I read about you is that you were always into sports, really, like all of your like school years and things of that nature. But when did you really start maybe getting into martial arts?
When I was 19.
Okay.
So I guess like 13 or so.
Like 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
You don't have to tell your age.
like a year ago or something.
Right. Yeah, and I started off, just a friend of mine basically had to drag me to a kickboxing class because after high school I was still looking to like lifting weights wasn't cutting it anymore. I'm like, I still want to feel that competitiveness and that competitive drive. So, I was just, you know, kind of just went to shut him up and then just never, I fell in love with it and I never stopped training after that day. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So are you trained in any, what forms of martial art are you trained in?
I started off as a boxer and a kickboxer and then when I moved to Ohio, I transitioned to MMA. So I'm like primarily a striker. I love to stand and kind of bang it out. But I also I train under Daniel Gracie at Henzo Gracie Philly. And
legendary Gracie family. Yeah, they definitely paved the way for it.
Definitely blessed to be a part of that. So, when I started training with Daniel, all I really knew was just like a few grappling moves on the ground just to kind of survive. And even at that point, it was just like I really had no idea what I was doing until I started training under Daniel like a little more than 5 years ago. So
the Gracie family, they specialize more in like Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where you got the grappling and the
groundwork. But after once I started training with Daniel, that just completely changed my game. And at that point, I was like, man, I really I want to be a world champ. Like, this is really what I want to do with my life.
So martial arts for dummies, me. All right. Yeah. I don't know that too much about it. When you say jiu-jitsu and grappling, what does that kind of like mean?
It's more or less like submission fighting.
Okay.
So you basically can learn how to choke people out, break someone's arm. A lot of
Yeah, ankles, wrists,
a little bit
shoulders.
Of everything. Yeah. But it transitions very well into like street fighting and self-defense. And
okay.
So, that's.
I feel like especially in Philly, there's been like a really big wave of people starting to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I've actually quite a few friends that are into it. Some frat brothers, some girls, some women that I know that are really getting into it. Do you think it's because of the rise of MMA and UFC and like that mixed martial arts that people are starting to gravitate more to the, I guess we'll say, newer styles of fighting as opposed to like boxing, kickboxing, stuff like that?
I think so. I mean, there's definitely just with the whole MMA scene, like
it's
coming to light. Yeah, it really is. But I think it just brought a whole new awareness to like jiu-jitsu and like how fun self-defense can actually be, and you can also be like a badass competitor in jiu-jitsu too. There's it's not just like going and taking classes. Like there's like a lot of like badass like top competitors out there that make a lot of money and just at the world class level. So it's
that's a lot of work.
It's and it's really cool to watch it evolve as well. And we never stop learning.
Okay.
Something
I have so many questions.
Me too.
I'm so glad she's
I
here.
have so many questions. I'm like,
so how did you? Why?
So how do I?
I'll show you some stuff after.
But no, people know you as Bad Mama.
Yes.
So you got to tell us where you got that name from. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So a dear friend of mine, Perry O'Hearn, he actually is the owner of Philly Fitness. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Perry, if you're listening. I was just, at the time, really new to Instagram, so I was just using, like, this, like, it wasn't, like, a dumb name, but it kind of was for Instagram. It was just my name, like, and then, like, a few numbers after. He's like, you know what? Why don't you just, like, you got to be creative. I'm like, well, help me.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. And then he's the one that actually came up with it for me, and it stuck, and so now kind of everybody knows me.
Well, I like the mama part because you are a mom.
Yeah.
And you kind of I watched a lot of your interviews and stuff, and you make that like a focal point that a lot of people wouldn't kind of put the two together, MMA fighter and a mother, but you are. So do you guys kind of have like a community of moms maybe in your world of fighting?
Question. I mean, there's definitely a lot of moms that fight, that a lot of people, I mean, not everybody likes to, bring their kids into the spotlight, but my daughter and I are so close, and I like to keep her as involved as much as possible. And she's the best. And I was supposed to let you guys know that she couldn't make it today because she's on a beach day, play day with her friends. So
say no more.
Sorry. Yeah.
She has a tight schedule. I get it.
Yeah. And but yeah, so for me, it's only natural that that I keep her right there with me by my side, and like I said, keep her involved as much as possible in what I do. But yeah, there's a lot of I know, like in Philly, I get a lot of messages from women that don't necessarily want to compete, but they are moms and are like,
they appreciate it.
Yeah, and
that's a lot.
I get a lot of it really is. It's a lot to balance, and also for myself, like I'm a single parent.
Right. Because it takes
nother,
like when you have a fight come up, it takes like the training is intense because you gotta be in shape. You gotta make sure all your stuff is sharp, and then on top of that, to be a single mother, like that's gotta be ridiculously
Does she come to the gym with you?
She does.
Okay.
Yeah, she does.
And did she ever get worried about you, like whenever you're in the ring or sparring or anything?
I'm sure there's like a degree of like worry there, but she doesn't really let it show. She's like pretty like headstrong, and she understands. Like she's been around it since she literally learned how to like crawl and walk on the mats, and so she's been around it her whole life. She's but there are, I'm sure, like sometimes where like before a fight she definitely feels those nerves. And
would you like be okay if she got into MMA or
you're like,
it's so funny you say that, because when I first got into MMA, my mom was like,
no,
absolutely not. I hate this. No, but I mean, she couldn't really
it's
stop
brutal.
me, so
It's brutal.
It really is. But now being a parent myself, I get that question a lot, and I'm just like, I don't know. I wouldn't be too happy about it in the beginning, but of course I would be right there to support her.
If you're
like,
going
I'm
let's
coaching
go in.
you.
Right.
So yeah, but no, I would definitely support her, but it would be like tough in the beginning, I think,
for sure,
to accept. Yeah.
Speaking of your mom, you come from a family of entrepreneurs. They actually own a business, correct, in Cincinnati.
Yes.
You guys have a bakery, correct?
We do our homework here.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. I'm impressed. Yes.
Yeah. So you're a businesswoman yourself. So how did you kind of like say, nah, I don't want to be a part of the family business. I'm going to do my own thing, but still in the same way being a part of, I mean, you're an entrepreneur yourself. This is a business.
It's your brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I am kind of part of it. Like, I taste all the foods.
Yes.
When you go back, do they put you to work?
Not really. No.
Okay.
They can't tell me what to do anymore.
Pretty much.
They're afraid of me now.
You're like, oh,
no, but you know what I do when I go home? I do love being like down there at the market with them and like seeing all the people, because they like all of their customers. They hear all about like, me and my daughter, but they never get to see us because we're not there. So it's always nice to kind of like
face to a name.
Yeah, and to, just to see everyone. It's a lot of fun. So, but I lost track of.
Just talking about kind of like journeying away from the family business and just kind of being your own brand. Because I know a lot of people, when the family has a business, they kind of feel obligated to be kind of like sucked into it and to take over. Yeah. Like, this is our tradition and this is what comes next. Did you have a hard time kind of being like, nah, this is not for me?
Not really, because my family they're very much like, choose whatever is going to make you happy. And not that being a part of the business wouldn't make me happy. It was just, I just had a different path. And, and they supported that. So but of course, it's hard being away from them, and just hard, grew up with all my cousins and my family around, and, for us to kind of sacrifice that is definitely hard. But no, I mean, it's fine. Like I said, it's just, they're so supportive, and
that's cool.
Just choose whatever you want to do. So
that's awesome.
So before we go to break, I have to ask this question. Do your parents come to your fight? Have they seen you fight before?
My dad, who actually still lives in West Virginia, he came to my first amateur fight, which was in Cincinnati.
Okay.
And then, you know what? My mom hasn't watched a fight, and she won't watch it live either. Like when it's on UFC Fight Pass.
That's hard.
She's like, I'll watch it later. Yeah. So I get it, but
yeah,
she's way more supportive now than she was before. So
dope. All right, so let's go to a quick break. When we come back,
when we come back, I want to talk more about into like the actual fighting and where you're at and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
cool.
For sure.
All right, so guys, we have Jaime Colleen here. She's an MMA fighter, and we don't want no smoke with her today.
Not at all.
So I'm going to be careful about what I say. It's your girl Lauren Reed right here, my boy Jay the Gentleman. It's the Lauren Reed Live Show. We will be right back.
Yeah.
And we are back, everyone. It's your girl Lauren Reed right here with Ice Radio again.
Yeah.
We have MMA fighter. MMA.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, get me right.
Yeah, got you.
MMA fighter. Jaime Colleen. Well, since she had such an easy name, she has 2 first names.
Yeah.
I'm totally golden today. Yeah. Jaime Colleen is here in the building. We're talking a little bit about her journey. I have just a couple more questions about your journey before Jay gets all into like the fighting questions.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
You are a big advocate of women against abuse and domestic violence, and it's like a part of your story. If you don't mind really kind of sharing a little bit of it, you have an interesting story on how you kind of really, because you left Philly for a little bit and you came back. So how did that all happen?
Wow, where to start? Yeah. I was in so did you want me to
go all into it, because I know that you are an advocate for Women Against Abuse, their
Sure.
organization, and like the safe haven. Mm-hmm. So how did you kind of get involved with that?
So without keeping you guys here like all day, it is a long story, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. So we were in an unfortunate situation that led us to one of the 2 safe havens that Women Against Abuse offers in Philly. And it was really, really tough. It was just, we had nothing and we had to just rebuild our lives basically. Mm-hmm. But for me, I'm finding like the more I share my story and the more I I'm involved in the community and mm-hmm. doing what I do for Women Against Abuse, I'm finding like my story is just more of like a story of just becoming mm-hmm. instead of just kind of like, oh, this is
the sad story.
Yeah, which I don't want it to be. I want it to be more of like, oh my gosh, like this really shitty thing happened, but I want people to know that there's a way out mm-hmm. and that there's hope and that you can get through it and take your power back. So that's more about like what it's about for me and mm-hmm. sharing my voice and trying to raise as much awareness as possible. So with that said, that's exactly what I did. A lot of days were harder than others. It was really hard to get out of bed. It was, everything was really, 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 really hard. So, and then having a child that didn't understand what was going on, but knew that something was different.
Was definitely weird.
She was, enduring a lot as well too. So I was trying to juggle rebuilding our lives. I was trying to like maintain like the normalcy for her. I didn't want her to feel like there was just like this abrupt, like crazy change in her life. And so, I was trying to keep things as normal as possible for her. And, I'm telling you, like, I felt like the court hearings were just endless. I couldn't even tell you how many court hearings we went to. It actually finally ended last year.
Wow.
So that was 5 years now.
So one might think you're a fighter, you know how to defend yourself. How could you possibly end up in a situation where you were a victim of domestic violence? I mean, just being kind of sort of like ignorant to the fact that it can still happen to you. Did you ever kind of like wonder, like, how did I get here? And I'm this strong woman and I know how to defend myself, but yet here is still the cards that are being handed to me right now.
Sure. And I hear that a lot. But, abuse doesn't discriminate. It can really happen to anyone. And there's lots of different forms of abuse. Mm-hmm. So there's, like, what we all know is, like, the physical abuse, the verbal, there's emotional, mental abuse. Right. There's also financial abuse. And, I experienced all of those things and was just so isolated for so long. And granted, I am strong. I can hold my own. But, being able to defend yourself doesn't necessarily mean that I can... if the physical part happens, it can actually make matters worse, like fighting back. So, there was a point where it's just like, I know, like deep down, I'm like, The person you see now has always been there. I was just buried under all the shit and didn't know how to get out of it. And then just when you're isolated with somebody for so long, and then we had a child together. So for me, I'm like, I want to keep my family together. So I wasn't willing to accept what was happening at first, over the years. And then it just, as it got worse and worse and worse, I'm like, okay, like this is not okay. I can't keep pretending like it's not happening anymore, because I didn't want to bring my daughter up in that type of environment, nor did I want to set an example that it's okay to stay in a situation if I have like the ability, and control to get out of it. Granted, like the way it went down wasn't really my choice. I would have much rather, obviously, things to, be more like
civilized.
Yeah, civilized.
Work itself out.
And go about it the right way. But, my ex-partner also was dealing with a lot of like mental health issues as well. So that was like another layer, just kind of thrown on top of everything, because he was, you deal with a lot of, most abusers are unreasonable people. You can't reason with them. And there's no, they're master manipulators. And, I did like, at one point, a year before the situation happened that led us to the safe haven, I was like, we were in another situation where like my family had to come up and we were ready to leave, and then he managed to like manipulate me again, and I wasn't willing to accept it. And that was a big mistake on my part, because after that, then it was just even.
It's so funny that you touched on that part, because I think sometimes people are so easy to say, oh, he hits you or he talks to you terribly, or vice versa with women with men too. Like, yo, just roll, just leave, right? Yeah. And sometimes your family kind of sometimes wants to make it to seem like it's that easy, but it's so many other things that's kind of like tied into it that keeps you there, to hold you like hostage almost, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of fear involved, and a lot of, once you're in that situation for so long and you start to believe the things that they say, and so a lot of times you just kind of feel broken and defeated, and you're like, okay, well, where am I going to go? Because they make you feel like you have nowhere to go, or nobody's going to support you, because through that isolation you lose contact with people, including your family. So when it gets to the point of when you're like, I'm going to leave you, this is wrong, and this is unsafe, then it's just like, oh, well, where are you going to go? You have nothing, because there's that financial abuse involved, and just, everything. And they make you feel like, so then a lot of people, I think, stay because they feel like they have no other choice.
Yeah. And then the part of being the humbleness that you have to go to a safe haven with a bunch of people there that you don't know, kind of maybe in the same situation as you, and you're kind of like, it's kind of like possibly an ego blow, but at the same time you got to do what you had to do for yourself.
Sure.
So when you go back, and I know you give back a lot to the safe haven and talk to a lot of the women there, I know they're probably like, all right, she's going to teach us how to defend ourselves, but are you teaching them more how to, defend themselves mentally versus the physical aspect of it?
Yeah, it's all around.
Okay.
And I and also sometimes it's not even, we don't even work out. Sometimes we're just sitting and talking, and I'm totally fine with that. And I find that like every week is different. Some days we don't have anyone, just because the turnover rate is so high there, so that 1 week we might have a group of like steady people that have been coming, a group of like 6 or 8 people, and then then the next week sometimes we don't always see the same people. So it's tough. But yeah, so I usually, me approaching the situation, I wanted it to be like, okay, I don't want it to seem like, oh, I'm like walking in there like, I just kind of wanted to get off a very warm and easy vibe. I didn't want it to feel
like an even keel level.
Yeah, and just kind of like let's just keep it real. And talk. Right. I just kind of let them lead. Like whatever they feel like they want to do, that's what we do.
That's dope. I just have to, just commend you on your journey and, overcoming. You. No, it's really hard because someone needs to hear that, that may be stuck in a situation and thinking they can't get out of it or whatever the case might be. And it's people like you who have a platform to be kind of like, this is my story and this is how you can move forward. And if you need help, it's okay to go somewhere else.
They can relate to you.
They can relate to you for sure. So let's transition a little bit, take a quick break, and then when we come back, Jay is only going to ask you questions about fighting.
All right. I'm ready.
It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here, Water Ice Radio with Jaime, Colleen, and Jada Gentleman. We will be right back.
All right, we're back. Lauren Reed live, Water Ice Radio. Jada Gentleman. Got Lauren Reed and our special guest, MMA fighter.
Say that fast 10 times.
MMA fighter, Jaime Colleen. How you feeling?
Hey, I'm good.
Good.
Great.
So I want to, segue transition into the fighting, the MMA, your competitions, all that good stuff. When did you go pro?
I went pro in 2013.
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what are you at right now? What's your record? Where you at?
I am now 5-3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just had a fight a couple months ago, right?
I did. Yeah.
And how'd that go?
Back in June in Philly for the first time. I
Wow.
fought in Philly. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the energy? Was it
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Usually I'm like, I have to travel everywhere, and it's just kind of gets annoying because we deal with the weight cuts, and then just I don't know. There's just the traveling, and I don't know. It's nice to be home.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you do to pump yourself up right before a match? Like what it's like? Do you have like kind of like a routine?
Not really. I tend to maybe it is a routine. I don't know, but I like it just to be quiet.
Okay.
And like mellow. Usually, if there's a lot of people around, which is usually the case because
like trainers and
and then we have other fighters in the same room that are also like getting ready to walk out. So I usually just put my headphones on and
it's like the calm before the storm.
Yeah. Some people like to just like hit pads and go yeah. I mean, I'll hit pads to warm up, and I do what I got to do for that. But for the most part, like, I'll take a nap.
I like the quiet assassin.
She said, I'll take a nap.
I like the quiet assassin.
Yeah, I like to chill.
I forgot who I was talking about. Like, when I play sports, that was always my move. Like, because everybody would want to go out in the bleachers and talk to people, or they would have like music blasting. I would just have like my headphones, be chilling. I would take a nap.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
so
go
funny
out and score like 30 points.
I like to listen to like classical music or music from that movie 300.
Yeah,
I listen to that soundtrack all the time.
Score?
Like that whole I love it. And I was gonna say something funny, but it just like got away from me. Oh, that's what it was. One of my jiu-jitsu coaches, Sadeko, he actually runs Daniel Gracie opened up a new school in University City. So
oh, wow.
He runs that school, yeah. So you guys got to go check that out if you're listening. He was like, he cornered me once for, I don't know, maybe like when I'm like my third fight or something. And he's like, what is this classical music? He's like, that's serial killer shit.
You're like, exactly. I think it's cool because it's like a different, like, you're like, yo, I think she's about to do some work. She okay? Yeah. I like that. So 5-3. How your last result? How did it go?
Decision, unanimous decision. Yeah, I think most people think that they should have stopped it. My opponent took a lot of hard shots, but I don't know. The ref was just kind of like kept asking her, "Are you okay?" Yeah. And I'm just like, just
call it
as you see it. Don't ask her if she's okay because
right.
Of course, 9 times out of 10, if they're coherent, most fighters, because they want to continue, they're gonna say
They're like, fine. Meanwhile, the legs broken.
Right, exactly.
Fine.
Yeah. So.
Do you remember the first time, whether you're sparring or in a competition, where you like remember getting your bell rung, and you were just like, "Whoa, all right, welcome to the show," kind of like moment?
Yeah.
See, that's my peace out moment.
Yeah, like, all right, that was cool.
Yeah. I would actually say when I was training down in when I was training in Cincinnati, we were doing a sparring session, and I was sparring with one of the guys. Like, he didn't like mean to.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of know how to train with each other. We try to keep it as safe as possible. Sometimes it gets to that, like, we're not trying to hurt each other, but sometimes it happens, like, but it's just part of what we do. But I remember I was sparring with one of my teammates down there, and he accidentally kind of like went a little too
aggressive,
too hard, and I was like, oh shit, like, okay, that's what that feels like. But then, like, in a fight, it happened, and I was just, I don't know, it's a really weird feeling, but it's just like, okay, like, all right, I'm gonna fight. I'm here,
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So do you? All right. So the part 2 to that question is, do you remember the first time where you you rung somebody else's bell? Like you were like a really, really good.
Like I'm good at this.
Like shot or. You know
I have a good story for that one. I put some on. So it was my second pro fight. And I hadn't fought in probably a year and a half. And it was actually my first fight after transitioning out of the safe haven. So when I was there, I kind of like forced myself back into training and just because it was something I always loved to do. And when I was with my ex-partner, I got away from it because he didn't, he had the control, and I put pretty much everything on the back burner, everything, my dreams and aspirations. And so that was something that, I wanted to continue to pursue. So that's kind of what got me out of bed. When I say like martial arts saves, like it truly, truly does. That's really what got me out of bed every morning, and just, having that accountability and just having goals to set every day. Like, so anyway, as I was like training every day, while I was still at the safe haven, and about a year after I left there, I took a fight against a girl in California who was their number one prospect at the time. Wow. And she was 5-0, just like beast, like muscles everywhere. But
intimidation.
But she was only like, I don't know, she was shorter than me, but she was just all muscle. And I'm like, okay, I want that fight. Because I felt ready. Like I had been training my ass off every single day. It was just what I did. And I knew what my potential was. And some people were like, are you sure? Because it ended up being a title fight, and it was on short notice. I'm like, I don't care. Like, let's do it. We're ready. And it's funny because Daniel, my coach, wasn't available. I think he was courting another fighter at this time, and so he couldn't come out there with me. So I ended up asking one of my teammates to come out, and we just jumped on a flight to California. We go out there. Nobody knew who I was. I had like no tape on me. Like nobody knew who I was.
I feel like that's a secret weapon though. Like you don't know what to expect.
And I just felt like the fight was already mine before it even happened. I was just like,
you don't know what I've been through. You don't know where I just came from.
Exactly. And so I just felt like there was like just like this beast inside me that was ready to like come out and play. And so I went in there and just, was feeling her out, and I felt really confident and just happy to be there. I mean, we were in an arena. There was close to 10,000 people there from what I heard.
Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
wow.
I fought for
that's like Philadelphia Soul.
For your second fight.
Yeah. That's why most people were like, "Oh, are you sure about this?"
I was. Are y'all sure?
Yeah, exactly. Are you sure? Exactly. So, she was giving me everything she had, and it wasn't like I was fine. I was studying her a lot in the fight, and I noticed
just filling her out.
I noticed that she telegraphed a lot when she threw punches, and so I was just honestly just waiting for that opportunity to counter. Yeah. So in the fourth, I don't know, within like the first couple of minutes, it was just like she kept telegraphing, and then I would just kind of like put the heat on a couple of combinations, and then I would just kind of like back away. I was like kind of playing with her a little bit, and then she like telegraphed, and I'm telling you, it was in slow motion. It's like everything was like
a car
this.
accident, right?
She came in, and I just like threw my right hand out, and she
felt it.
Oh no, she was out cold.
Wow.
Yeah, I put her out.
People were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, she like folded and was out,
wow.
And it was like shock.
Yeah, everyone's like,
and that's kind of the fight that put me like back,
on
like I was like that put me on the radar, and
I mean, when you beat like you said, a top prospect, undefeated, obviously heavy favorite, big crowd, someone who they're like, who's this person?
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost similar to the boxer who beat Anthony Joshua. Big dude. He's not cut
the
at
fat
all.
guy. The fat guy.
The big dude, and he just went in and did work, and like now he's the champ. Like that, I love that.
I was like, who is this man?
Yeah.
That just rolled out of bed and
exactly.
He was giving it to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that fight for me, it just totally it
validated your
everything.
Yeah.
Validated everything we had just gone through. So I just like in that moment, I just felt everything just like pour out of me, and I was so happy.
You mentioned earlier that you're more of a striker, so like punches, kick stuff like that. Submission not really your thing, or?
I mean, it is now.
Okay.
Like what I was saying before about when I started training under Daniel, like I like really fell in love with the ground game, and as I improved, like it just I'm more and more like comfortable. I find myself more as like a ground and pound person now. Like I love striking, be able to get in for a takedown, and then you know doing work on the ground. So that's a lot how my last fight went. You know,
so are you a trash talker?
No.
I didn't think
That's
so.
Yo, we need assassins, yo.
Yeah. I don't need to.
I didn't think so.
I get the people that do like you know in the bigger organizations or I mean, but then some people don't. I mean, it's just not my thing. I don't know, but I get it. A lot of people do it for like the entertainment purposes.
Absolutely.
It's to get people more interested.
Right.
It's all the show.
I've never really been how I am. Like I've just let my skills do the talking. So
you can correct me if I'm wrong. You definitely seem like a girly girl outside of the octagon. Right?
You see that logo?
I'm serious, because you were probably like, people probably feel like, oh, MMA fighter. They're like the, you know, butch like girl, blah, blah, blah. And you're like completely like glammed up right now.
All glowed.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Highlight popping. Like,
a lot of, believe it or not, there's a lot of us out there, the girly girl, like, you know, fighters. But I don't know. I mean, inside I feel like a tomboy, but I find like, I don't know, I just like to look and feel nice too on the outside.
That's okay with that.
I like that. I do too.
But there's definitely like a stigma, you know, when it comes to like women and, you know, fighting. They just expect us to be, you know,
that way all throughout.
Yeah.
And not even
like, I am like a woman.
Hear me roar.
Right.
Yeah, and not like even in just fighting, but like sports in general, women in sports in general, like just having these like physiques and stuff like that. Like Serena, they always talk about how like stacked she is and stuff like that, and like it not being like necessarily feminine per se.
Sure.
But she's still a girly girl. Like I don't get that.
Did you see the women's soccer team at the ESPYs? Like they're all in their gowns and
That's
shit, looking flawless. Like I love that.
Like,
I love it.
I just think it's like so crazy that they feel like people honestly be like, oh, she's too muscular or whatever. Like, and they still can't.
And those are the people that
feminine.
Will always have a problem with, no matter what you look like or no matter what you do, how great you are, you're the greatest athlete of all time, and they'll still find something wrong with it.
I know.
Serena.
Exactly. Like they were when she was just on Vogue, they were like, "Oh, it's too much. She's showing too much," and I'm just like, "She can't win."
Like, so just do what makes you happy. And
so I had another question as far as like fighting. Like I kind of just visually, who would you compare yourself as far as like your aesthetic in the ring? Like for instance, your style. Are you more of like a I don't know. I watch boxing, so like Muhammad Ali, very fast, kind of agile, or Mike Tyson, just kind of powerful, like strength. Like, what is your mentality when you're coming into the ring?
Well, I kind of have like a little bit of both, but I don't like to show everything like all at once or in the beginning. I kind of like adapt to whatever the situation is. So for me, like I like to go in, just light on my feet, move around. Like I'll like, you know, throw some jabs out there, and I don't know, I just kind of like to, you know, like Muhammad Ali, like float around a little bit, feel out my opponent, but then when it's time to go in, like I am really strong and explosive, so like I'll come at you and try to take your head off.
Is there like a fighter that you watch? Are there fighters that you really like to watch as far as MMA, whether it be women or men, who you kind of like their style, or you want to take a couple things from there? Like, is there any? You know
who I really love is Rose Namajunas. She's the strawweight. Well, she was the champ, and recently lost, but I really love her style, and I love that she's just so calm. I find like I'm a lot like that too, but she's just very she's like the quiet assassin, but she's also very smart when it comes to fighting. Like she's
very tactical.
Very technical, and but she's also like super strong, and you know, but she's good everywhere. So I love watching her a lot.
Cool. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to play a game.
Ooh, is it time?
It is time.
Will of Death.
Help.
You'll be okay. We'll have another game. It's all right. All right, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here. What a Ice Radio. We got Jaime, Colleen here. We got Jada Gentleman, of course.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We are back, everyone. It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here. What a Ice Radio with Jaime, Colleen, and Jada Gentleman is here.
I'm having fun.
I am too.
Like I admire like elite athletes and like just people that could perform on any level, whether it's like fighting or sports or artists. So like having a pro like fighter here, I'm just like, this is dope. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me,
Absolutely.
guys.
So now it is time for the Wheel of Death.
Wheel of Death, woo! Because we couldn't name anything else.
Name. So it's sticking at this point. So we'll all take a spin at the wheel twice. Just some fun questions on here. So the guest always goes first.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Spin it nice and easy. And whatever lands, you got to answer the question.
Yes. Oh, no. You're doing
a
little harder than that.
It's on the wrist. It's on the wrist.
There you go.
Yeah. No whammies. Okay.
Ooh, good one.
First question. Brunch or the club?
Oh, brunch.
Brunch. Yeah. What's your favorite spot to go brunching in?
I don't know. I don't really have. Actually, the place I went to recently.
Okay.
I don't remember not recently.
I know. I'm like, where?
No, it's on Pine. I think it's on like 10th and Pine. It's a Greek place. I went there with a group of friends, and it was. I'm not really like a huge Greek person, so I was a little unsure, but it was like my friend's choice, and we did there were like 4 couples and went to brunch, and it was great.
Nice.
Yeah, and I like to eat. Like when I'm out in camp, whatever, I much would rather like.
Are you into the mimosas and stuff?
A little bit.
I'm with you. All right here.
She knows a couple
I don't know. I was a clubby person like back in the day. You know, I like to go out and whatever, but I would prefer,
Do you remember like a specific club that you really like to go to back in the day?
Lord, there was a lot of them. Like most of my going out days happened when I lived in Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Probably wasn't old enough to be.
It really was, right?
But so where we lived, there was like this huge tourist attraction called Broadway at the Beach, and there was probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6 clubs. They were all connected.
Yeah.
So we would just hop around.
Hop around.
Yeah.
Dope.
I'm with it.
All right, I'm gonna go next.
All right, Lauren. Ask Lauren anything.
I can't ask myself anything. Let's just do easy for me. Yeah, all right, let me go again. I wear sneakers all the time.
I went to the club last night.
You did?
Oh, where'd you go?
It's a new one that opened up in University City, West End Down. It was a great place. Like Kenny Poon, he like owns a lot.
I think I've seen photos.
Yeah,
some of my girlfriends went there.
Yeah,
and it's like the graffiti and it's all glowy and stuff.
It was really dope. I'm just like, as far as like club,
you're like not into it anymore. I feel you.
Reality check. My knees were hurting for no reason.
Junior, you're getting too old.
What's happening?
Yeah.
All right. So,
but I was not the oldest one in there. So
that's good.
Yeah.
So I got Biggie or Pac.
Ooh, this is like it's always gonna happen. This debate.
I know it's always gonna come up.
Who is
so for me, I'm Biggie. Okay. I have to be honest. I could relate more. Not that Pac wasn't dope.
You be out here in the streets slang that.
Pushing that weight. No.
Down to the socks.
Right?
No, like I just his music just resonated with me more. Yeah. Like not that I could super relate to the struggle or whatever, but like his music was just like so much fun. I felt like almost, and he told a story. It was always like a story. Okay. It's not that I don't like Pac. It was a different vibe for me.
For sure. So here's my thing and why I picked Biggie over Pac. I don't think technically or lyrically they're better than the other.
Okay.
But I will say Biggie had more songs by himself that were dope than Pac did.
Oh, okay.
A lot of my favorite songs from Pac, he had other people on it, and it just ruined it. Like Hail Mary.
Okay.
I could have done without that last verse.
Okay, I got you.
But the one probably my favorite Pac song was Ambitions as a writer because he was by himself and he killed it,
the whole thing.
And that was like the first song he did right after he got out of jail.
Right.
So like you saw that focus. So when he was focused, that dude was nice. But Biggie just has better songs by himself. Right.
And Biggie doesn't even have a really big catalog. He just has he has mixtape, like old stuff like that.
2 albums.
2 albums. He's on Ready to Die and Life After Death. And literally, I'm not going to lie, like Ready to Die is classic, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like I know every song off of Life After Death.
Yeah.
Like real talk. And it was a double album.
So you're a Biggie fan more so if you had to choose between Biggie, Pac.
Yeah, but I don't have the knowledge like you guys do.
Okay.
I mean, my brother knows everything about Pac and Biggie, and I mean, I prefer some of his songs. I don't really know, like.
So
I mean, growing up in West Virginia, like I'm a country music fan.
Well, so that's what I was gonna. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
because it's very regional because I'm from Texas originally, so we had a lot more West Coast influence because of the Mexican culture and just we're close to that side. So I heard a lot more Tupac, but when you heard the catalog of Biggie, you're like.
And his wordplay was like crazy. Like it was just great.
I think people like Pac because of the bigger thing, like
the big picture.
Yeah, he was spitting shit back in the day that's still relevant now.
Correct.
About like just politics and community and all that stuff. So that's why it's tough.
It is.
If you're talking about rapping, I'll say Biggie.
I mean, some people are going to say it's not a hard debate to them because I think some people are very Biggie or Pac. It's no discussion for them, right? And I think there's a lot of people kind of sort of like me, which is just like what they can just relate to more or what the vibe that it really gave to them. And like just Biggie just gave me just like a different type of vibe. And then the people he had around him. And it was just like it was just dope. You know what I mean? It was a good feel for me. I just liked it.
Fair enough.
All right, you good? You ready?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to spin for Jay.
Big bucks. Ask Lauren anything.
He wants to have the last one. And he gets it normally. Oh, yes. Oh, we already know this answer to this question.
Nah.
You want to go again?
Yeah.
I got you. Jay likes ice cream.
Ice cream is bomb.
I love ice cream.
Right?
You can't ask yourself anything. Oh, no, it's not on that.
All right. Yeah.
Tyson or Ali?
Oh, we were just talking.
We were just talking about that.
Fuck. You made this question up, too.
I know. I was more so for you. Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to compare the two in certain things. We talked about aesthetic. Like, aesthetically, I like Tyson because he literally would cut the robe, like a hotel robe. That was his robe when he came onto the ring.
Really?
Yeah. Like, and his music, it was just, like, very monotone, just very scary. Like, it was like it was just like a sound.
Like white noise.
Yeah. And he would just walk to the ring. It was like literally like a pit bull about to, like, fuck some shit up.
Well.
So, like, and he just wore black trunks, like, it was just simple, no flash, no nothing. He just went to the ring and did work. And then he talked his shit after he won.
Right.
I didn't, like, Ali, he talked, obviously.
Right.
You know, he was the greatest, whatever.
He was a poet.
Yeah. You know, so I didn't really like that. But in the ring, just as elusive as, like, being that big, like, a heavyweight, the way he could move. Fuck, man, I was looking at the highlights.
Beautiful, right?
Beautiful.
Man, yeah.
He was literally just like it was just bizarre because like people were just throwing these. And he's just like
Hail Mary.
Like,
yeah.
But so in ring I like Ali.
Okay.
Just aesthetically Tyson. He was just a fucking animal, man.
Okay. Well, we're just going to ask you the question now because Jay made this question for you, Jamie. So what do you think?
Yeah.
I agree a lot with what Jay said. I kind of like, feel the same way, but I don't know. My Tyson for me, I think I just love all around, like aesthetically, but he's also just, I don't know. He's a power puncher. I like that. I think for myself and having heavy hands, I don't know. I appreciate, just his movement and the way he's so fast. Yeah.
And you're talking about like how like repetition. They're like if you look on YouTube, they'll show like videos of him training and like he'll learn like different like side steps or whatever. And he used that in the ring, and you see it like you see what he practiced over and over, and you saw it in the ring, and it worked.
That's dope.
The thing I did like Ali did take a lot of beatings too, like from like Foreman and stuff, and whatever. But like, oh man, it's tough. But
yeah, definitely tough. But I got Tyson on that one.
All right, sure.
I like it. Yeah, you go again.
Again?
Yeah, last round. Yay. Let's get some we didn't get before.
Concert or festivals? Do you like going to like a concert, or do you like to go to festivals where there's like multiple acts and outdoors?
Oh, that's tough because.
So what we do hard hitting questions.
I know, this is so hard. So I don't know. That's tough because down in like Cincinnati, like my sister, who's also a big country music fan, we like going to like outdoor shows where there's like country music festival or something. I don't know. I love doing stuff like that. But I think like the older I get, the more I just prefer
sitting
like
down.
A concert. Yeah.
In air conditioner.
Without just like a bunch of drunk people falling all
Ow!
over me, bumping into me, and I'm just like, if only you knew.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I mean, I know that's like unintentional, whatever. Sure. But I just, I don't know. I'm just more like, I don't like big, giant crowds unless I'm fighting or something.
Yeah.
But,
right.
Yeah, it's weird. I have like different, I don't know.
I think we were on the same boat.
We just I like small, intimate now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a time and a place for festivals, I kind of feel like. And now it just has to be someone that I really want to see.
Yeah.
And I know I said this before on the show, but like Coachella is still on my bucket list of things to do, more so for the experience.
Right, just say that you went.
But it has to be someone, again, that I really, really want to see. So if it doesn't happen because of who's there, then I don't, you know what I mean? It's okay, but
it just takes so much energy to move from stage to stage.
It does.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you're a spring chicken, you can just do that. You can get drunk, whatever.
And then when
you're like, but the way my knees are set up.
Yeah, and then like weather, because most festivals are rain or shine.
Or hot as fuck.
Or hot, you know what I mean? And it's like,
it's a lot of different elements.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I like something about the intimacy of if you go to a show and it's like at the Fillmore or something. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I went to a show. Actually, I went by myself.
I go to shows by myself
he does all the time.
Some Bishop Briggs.
Oh, word. Okay.
I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. And I actually I don't know, maybe a couple years ago, discovered her. There's a song, River, and I was like, man, I think it was on like, So You Think You Can Dance. I think there was like a couple of dance, and that's kind of like what led me to like find the song, and then I was like, I fell in love with her. And then, I found out she was going to the Fillmore, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go by myself. And it was great.
I went to Miguel by myself.
I went to go see her by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I loved it. Yeah. You don't have to, like, wait for other people.
So
just,
you're
like,
on your own
do
time.
Yeah,
Ain't to use the restroom. I got to tell nobody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Let's do it.
All right, let's see what I got going on here.
I don't think we've answered everything, have we?
I don't think so.
I feel like I haven't answered everything. Netflix and chill or movie day? Ooh. What we doing, Lauren? What you doing?
That's a great question, but because I really feel like a movie is like, both of them actually are like once I know you kind of dates.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Going to movies is a bad first date.
It's a terrible first date because you don't talk. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So if like, let's say I'm dating someone, if you ask me this question, and I know them, I definitely would probably say actual movie date. I like to go to the movies.
Me too. I still like the experience.
I still like the experience of going to the movies. And now that like all the seats are plush and stuff like that, you know what I'm trying to say? But, and I'll tell you something, it's something about like, I never was a Netflix and chill person because it's too many distractions in the crib. Like, I'm trying questions.
Just watch.
I'm trying to like clean up, you know, your phone. Like even when you're home, like your phone. But when you're in a movie, it's like you put your phone away. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Like, so I don't really need the Netflix and chill. Like I like to watch series by myself.
Me too.
I like to watch series by myself, and it's funny because I know like couples now that like watch series with each other and like neither one of them can like move forward without.
Oh,
like,
that's a thing.
That's like a thing.
That's betrayal.
Like that's a big thing.
So my boyfriend and I do like to watch stuff with him because he's quiet. You know, like he's easy, and but we don't really. We try not to watch things without each other, but if we do, then it's like, okay, then I have to watch this over. Like, you know, you have to like watch it over again.
People are serious about that.
But I know what you mean. I've heard that.
I know, it's crazy.
I like that.
All right, cool. All right, Jay, last one.
Round this out. This is probably our best Will of Death.
Yeah, I think so, because we haven't gotten anything crazy.
I always get that one, Fresh Prince of Family Members.
Okay.
Friday.
You got that one before.
I've had that one before.
All right, let's try again. I want to get some new questions.
Actually, if we get something else that I already have, I was gonna say.
There you go.
Kobe or LeBron? Oh, we just put that one.
Yeah.
People are not gonna like this, but LeBron.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
He's a better teammate. Plain and simple. I
appreciate that.
I like Kobe's killer instinct.
Okay.
But I just feel like when you're playing, you want to be able to play with players and for players, and I feel like LeBron does that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love how he is with his kids. Like, he's so excited whenever they do a great play or whatever. Yeah. And like, he's like that with his team. He can have like his little, whatevers, but I don't know. To come in the league at 18, 19, to be a star when he was like 15, and to be able to carry himself 16, 17 years later, no other child star has ever done it like him.
I got you.
Ever in movies. Anything.
I'll agree with that.
Like, he's handling his own, no weird, like, controversies. He's a family man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, his kids are great. He put his team on, like Mav Carter and all them. Like, they're like running the game.
Right. So you're talking more like LeBron outside of the court.
And on court too.
On court too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, everybody, that was the Wheel of Death.
Woo! We
survived.
Until we find another title. That's what it's going to be called.
All right, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here. What Ice Radio, Jada Gentleman, and Jaime Colleen. We will be right back. We are back. And it's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here. What Ice Radio on the Lauren Reed Live Show. We got Jaime Colleen in today. She is an MMA fighter. See, I did it slow.
Yeah.
It's been a really, really dope show. You sharing your story and your journey, and we just really appreciate you coming to the show. Do you have anything coming up, Bad Mama? What's going on?
What's good?
Yeah, so I can't really discuss the details, but I will be fighting in Philly sometime in September.
Wow.
So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, then I will have the details of everything posted soon.
We have to go to that.
Yeah. You guys got.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's gonna be brutal.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like,
you're not even in the ring.
Like, ESPN is on every now and then, and they'll show like clips, and I'm like, oh my God. Like,
I'm gonna rip your head off.
I won't lie. It's intense, especially if you know the person that's fighting. It's really intense, and like,
the crowd is like a mob.
And as a fighter myself, I know like what it's like to be in there. But when my teammates fight, I'm a wreck. I'm a total wreck. So
like I think I saw a clip. Bull was cold, like knocked out, clean cold, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's dead!" And I was like, "This is like it's kind of scary, you know." So. But I'll still go, you know. It's a first time for everything.
You'll be good.
I never been to an MMA fight, so that would be dope.
But it does look like the crowd is intense.
Oh, the crowd is definitely intense.
So I gotta wear like afflicted shirts,
like
the brand, like bootleg jeans.
What you have on is great right now. The t-shirt is dope. Yeah,
perfect. Anything else besides that?
I would just I probably should have pulled this up before, but I wanted to maybe include the if anybody might be experiencing any
please go ahead, pull it up.
Any type of abuse that women against abuse. They have they are Pennsylvania's largest domestic violence service provider. So they do have a hotline, which is pretty amazing. So you have the ability to just really whatever you're going through, just to relieve yourself of that with an advocate on the line with you. But there's also a laundry list of resources that they can direct you. So even if you're not even sure if you should be calling the hotline, maybe you're experiencing maybe not domestic abuse, but there's also other things like sexual abuse or child abuse, many different things. But they have resources for pretty much everything there is out there, so they can always point you in the right direction for that as well. So the number for the Pennsylvania Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-866-723-3014, and the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. So, I just really want to just really to say that there is help out there. There is a way out. There's hope. And, it's definitely, like I said before, it's not easy. It's not, I went through years of it before I decided to, that it was time. But like I said, the manner in which it was done wasn't my choice, but how you choose to get up after you've been knocked down is solely put on your shoulders. I do a lot of speaking engagements, and one of the things I do touch on is like the fault versus responsibility aspect of it. That you know, it might not be your fault that you're going through something, but it is your responsibility to take your life back, and how you choose to rise above the situation and to not let it define you. And it's just you know, we all have to go through some shit. We all go through things,
that's
but
very true.
You know, it is our responsibility and how we want to you know, overcome it. So
there are outlets.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what we'll do is this interview will be on YouTube as well, so we'll add those phone numbers to the end of the clip, so that people who are watching and possibly need the help or know someone else who may need the help will have an outlet and have the numbers as well.
Excellent.
We're good?
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
this
you
was
guys.
So much fun.
This was amazing.
It definitely was. So everyone, stay tuned to the Learn Read Live show and Water Ice Radio. We have a lot of stuff in store, including this interview, right? A lot of other stuff coming up events-wise for waterice.com. Your scoop to everything Philly. So what you should do is go on the website and sign up for our newsletter, our weekly newsletter, so you can know everything that's going on in Philly and everything that's going on with waterice.com.
Word.
Anything else I'm missing, Jay?
Just follow us on social media.
Yeah, on all social media outlets.
Updated on everything that's coming
and
up.
Bad Mama.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes. Make sure you follow all of us there.
Yes.
That's it.
All right, that's it. All right, everybody, you already know what it is. Not all superheroes wear capes, but sometimes they wear headphones. Peace.